I finished.
Good for you, baby girl.
It's hard.
I knew it would be. You feel good about it?
As soon as I can feel.
Okay.
You should know about this.
I know it's hard, but trust.
I don't want to do this.
You're going to do this.
And I truly love you. But I'm not in love with you.
Okay, I think this is probably one of my last videos I'll be doing before next week, because I did a crap ton of videos breaking down all the relevant characters and scenes and from the episode. Not to mention, my episode review was almost 50 minutes long, so right off the rip, you know I had a lot to say, and I pretty much left everything on the floor. And I still need to do a live stream probably tonight or over the weekend to talk about the episode and the preview. So when it comes to Miss Lisa, and I praised her in this week's episode. I really loved the way she was, interacting with both men, specifically Zach, and really having that motherly vibe about her when it came to Karen. But a lot of people, especially after seeing the preview for next week, were asking the same question. I mean, we've been asking since Lisa mentioned the letters, but what is the point of this? I think this was a misstep. And I think the title of this video is Miss Lisa helping or hurting Karen? And I think the letters, while it sounded good on paper, no pun intended, I don't think it was the right move. I think the letter scenario really only works if both men were pursuing Karen. If it was Zach and Aaron pursuing her and she had to make a choice. Like, let's say if this happened in early or mid season 2, I want to say early though, because, eventually Zach met Fatima, and from there, hey, it's Fatima, except for that one moment in the salon. But, we don't talk about that. No, I'm just playing. We do, because if I didn't bring it up, he would be like, see, what about the salon journey? No, shut up. Okay. I think this was just bad timing for this letter, because the letter itself, it's going to end up hurting. Well, okay. Yes, it's going to obviously hurt Aaron, as we see in the preview. I truly love you, but I'm not in love with you. Okay, Aaron, kind of like Karen, is delusional. I mean, how many times has Karen needed to say, I need space, I need to be single, I'm not feeling you like that? And yeah, she did be a bit confusing, where it's like, I need space, but I also just need you to be there. But I think it really boils down to, Aaron, you're cool and whatnot, but you're doing too much. Can't lie, I've been that dude before. Yes, in college, I sucked at when it came to under social media. I didn't even have social media until after I graduated high school in 2009. So I really didn't know the proper etiquette of, like, okay, don't respond back too quickly. Don't like triple text and things like that. Had I known that, my love life would probably be different. But it came from 4 years, or actually 6 years, 4 years of computer classes and having to learn how to type without looking at the keyboard. And then, of course, working in the call center where it's like you have to reply to emails fast. So texting back quickly is, I don't even call it a bad habit. It's like ingrained in my my muscle memory. It's something that I have to do. So yeah, Aaron, it's like, if he would have respected boundaries, even if Karen's were somewhat confusing, but at the core they really weren't, he wouldn't be so, emotional about this. How many times has he said, you know what, God, what was it, when Karen went to like a bar or a restaurant and sitting at a bar area with Aaron. This was after Zach told her to her face at Danny's place, I don't love you no more. I don't want to be with you no more. And then, Aaron and her went out, and then he understood, wow, okay, you're emotional, so let's go back to your place. And then after that, he was so quote unquote understanding. Wasn't that the time where he played a movie that just so happened to mirror the situation of, You know, a woman having two choices and she picks the nice guy instead of the ex-con, and that was kind of like slight manipulation, but she called it out. And then Aaron's problem is he keeps saying, you know what, I'll give you space, I'll give you time, but he keeps running up under Karen all the time. And I think the very next day he called her because he sent flowers and a letter saying, hey, you know what, I talked to God and God told me you're the woman for me, so I'm not going to give up. You're doing this to your damn self. So I can't really place all the blame on you know, Karen for that, because Aaron is also responsible for his own heartache, you know? So when it comes to Miss Lisa's plan, it really doesn't make sense. Zach has moved on. If nothing else, you're humiliating your daughter, to be completely honest, because literally you call everyone together, but like, the one thing I'm wondering about is like, how come you haven't like talked to your daughter about, you know, I think it was a bit irresponsible of you to be sleeping around and you don't know who the baby daddy is. Yet again, it's like, you know, you're really not, you're coddling your daughter. But then again, she is putting her in the hot seat, but it really doesn't make sense in the context of what's currently going on. Miss Lisa, you know, says, you know, I want to get to the bottom of this because I'm tired of this. Well, Miss Lisa, it's hard for you to say you're tired of this nonsense and whatnot when A, you've been gone so long, you haven't even been really part of it. You only see that your daughter is upset, but you don't know the reason why. You just assume it's because of this, I don't know who the baby daddy is, I don't know who I'm in love with, that kind of thing. When it's been made clear that Zach has moved on. So it's kind of like if, I don't know, let's say you had a high school sweetheart that your mom or your parent liked, but you didn't end up with that person, and then you started dating someone else. So then, you know, you're emotionally like, you know, stunted, where it's like you seem confused and you're heartbroken. So your mom or whoever calls your ex and then your current lover, you know, over to the house for dinner, and you write a letter explaining everything. But then your ex is like, well, they're married with kids. Like, why the hell would you even do that? I mean, yeah, Miss Lisa, again, her plan, I understand it, but the timing in which it was placed within the series makes zero sense. It doesn't. I think, if nothing else, for her to say, you know what, Karen, no more stress and whatnot. No, you're hell, the truth be told, based on what's going, and we only got a snippet of the next episode. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to do this. Yes, you are doing this. And basically, it's like, it's almost like Miss Lisa put Karen in front of the church to give a speech during Mother's Day, and Karen's like, I don't want to do it. You're going to get up there and you're going to do this, Karen. You're going to read that poem. And I don't, yo, Miss Lisa, you're doing more harm than good, man. I mean, look, yeah, Aaron, he pulls that crap coming up to the hospital, causing a lot of stress and whatnot. But in reality, she's doing more harm than anyone else right now. And that's even including Karen herself. So, Miss Lisa, you need to reevaluate the situation, because I've been sitting up here for weeks saying, you know what, I hope she gives the men a chance to talk. I hope she gives the men a chance to really explain why Karen's really been stressed out, because she's been doing a lot. You know, Aaron's been pursuing her, but she's still in love with Zach, who's already moved on, and this and that. And, you know, oh yeah, she's harassing me and my girl. And keep in mind, she got me arrested. I paid her back everything, you know, she claims I owed her. And hell, I mean, Zach got to pull a Tyrese and say, Karen, I've already said multiple times, I'm not in love with you. I don't want to be with you anymore. And I paid you back all the money you said that, you know, you've ever given me and whatnot. I've moved on. What more do you want from me? I also said, if the baby is mine, I will do right by the child. Let me know what you need. But this whole situation going on, no, this ain't good. This ain't right. No, we ain't doing this. So I just hope Miss Lisa, yet again, tells her daughter what's what. Because, I mean, the whole thing, and look, this was, what, a couple weeks ago, your daughter, you know, called, laid out my girl, called her a bitch and everything. Well, is she a bitch? No. What you need to do is tell your daughter. I'm going to be honest here. Like I said earlier in the video, I just wish, you know, Miss Lisa had that conversation of, well, you know, I'm going to be here for you because you're my daughter, but I'm a bit disappointed that, you know, you don't even know who the baby's father is. Like, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about that. You know, your daughter sleeping around like this. And like I said, and a lot of fans have speculated, we don't even know for sure if Aaron and Zach are the only potential baby daddies. For all we know, it could be someone else. It could be Rico from that, you know, time back in the day. I know he only appeared in season 1 and they didn't even have sex then, but you know how wonky this timeline is. Then some people like, hell, it could be Gary. Who knows? But I just feel like Miss Lisa should be reprimanding her daughter as opposed to just coddling her and, you know, snapping on everyone else. I mean, aside from the sleeping around aspect, I would think that being, you know, her mom, she would kind of be a bit ashamed and embarrassed for how Karen has been acting, you know, chasing after, you know, Zach, harassing him and his new girl. And you know, I don't really have much to say about Aaron because much of his own, kind of like Karen, they bring about a lot of the misery, stress, and drama in their lives by themselves. You know, it's just one of them things where I just really feel like Miss Lisa could potentially be doing more harm than good, because as it stands right now, it does seem like she's going to really put more stress and depression on her daughter than ever before. Because when Fatima told Andy about the whole dinner situation, wait, Zach and Aaron, isn't she supposed to be avoiding stress right now? Well, Zach said her mom put it together. Oh, Miss Lisa. Oh, okay. In that case, yeah, it's good then. She has a good judgment. But she also invited me. Nope, forget everything I just said. So I can't even fathom what it would be like if Fatima was there. You know, I wish she was there to shut that shit down. But Miss Lisa, I'm glad she's back, because I've been saying this for years. I've wanted her back. I think Tyler kind of took a misstep with how he handled the character and her plan of action to, I guess you could say, clear the board, get everything out on the table to alleviate the stress so all of them can move forward like adults. But in reality, like I said early on in the video, the letter thing really only makes sense, or would make sense, in the context of both men pursuing Karen, which could be made even worse if she chooses one over the other, and regardless of who the baby daddy is, it turns out that neither one of them is the baby daddy. And it's like, you ho. So, and another thing I thought about is, I hope they ask the hard-hitting questions next week. Aaron, you crying. You ain't gonna cry in the car. You crying at the damn dinner table before Miss Lisa brings out dessert. But I want the hard-hitting questions asked at this dinner. You say you don't love Aaron. We can assume she's going to say, I'm still in love with Zach. But a lot of other people say that, and I agree with this, bet money Karen's letter is only going to talk about how Zach hurt her, what he did wrong in the relationship, without ever admitting to her own shortcomings. And a lot, what about the STDs and all this stuff? Look, Zach said straight up, the reason I can't come back to you, the moment you had me arrested and I was sitting in that cell, that's when I knew I couldn't come back, because we aren't good for each other. That's not erasing everything Zach did wrong, but to have someone who will constantly assume the worst about you, what kind of relationship is that? That's what I always say whenever Fatima questions whether or not Zach is still in love with Karen. I would feel that same way, like someone doesn't believe in me, or because they don't believe me and where my true emotions and heart lies. So aside from that, I do hope that wow, man, I had a moment there. I just really got into it. I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, I just hope that it's brought up. Okay, so Karen, you got your feelings out there. You told me and Zach how you feel. But what's going to happen if I'm the father? I'm speaking for Aaron now. And I would have been like, you know, well, if you truly love me but aren't in love with me, why did you tell me to fuck you that night? And then I hope he says what Karen told him. I don't want to have your baby because I don't know you well enough. Which is the most asinine. Look, people say men come up with the most BS excuses in order for, you know, women to have abortions because they're not ready to be a father and whatnot. But what about Karen? I'm not saying she can get an abortion. All I'm saying is you made a choice. to have sex with Aaron. And now, because you don't know each other well enough, well, this when her mama need to be like, well, you knew him well enough to get in bed with him, so how come you don't know him well enough to have his baby? And like I said, somebody needs to ask the question. So Karen, you want this baby to be Zach's, but he's moved on. Zach already told you up front the day you told him, you know, you were pregnant and you took the pregnancy test, that having a baby isn't going to bring him back to you. And then on top of that, it's just one of them situations where Karen needs to realize that she's delusional, that she's acting the victim and she feels like she's owed something when in reality she's not owed a damn thing. You chose to sleep with multiple men within a short period of time. You chose to, you know, stress yourself out, and you chose to, well, let's be honest here, lead Aaron on, even though he's played a role in that himself. So that's all to say. Miss Lisa's letter idea is honestly doing more harm than good. So we'll see how things play out over the course of the next couple episodes. But with that being said, like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And I'll catch you in the next one.